I was so hungry I forgot to pray. Have you ever wanted to hear from God, but you felt like the distractions and the noise and the people around you are just too loud? That's exactly how I felt. So I went on a Daniel fast. That's right. No social media, no carbs, no sugar, no coffee. And I sat down and had time with God. I was a little nervous at first. I was afraid I was going to mess it up or I was going to eat the wrong thing and throw myself off. But I actually succeeded. And not only did I get clarity from God, I gained so much more insight as to what my future is supposed to look like. I fully leaned into God. I wanted to learn more about Him. I was seeking His face during this fast. It also was a corporate fast for my church. I felt like I had the support of like my friends because they also were fasting with their churches as well. And it just made it very easy for me to step away from the things that were distracting me and say, hey, like it's just me and God. God is me and you, and fully lean into Him. In the past, I never really read the book of Daniel. I know I'm ashamed, but I never really fully read the book of Daniel to know like why he went on the fast in general. So I was very intrigued. And I thought it was so interesting that in the book of Daniel, there were so many tests. I mean, so many tests. But the thing is that when Daniel pulled up the kingdom he was in, I believe he was in Babylon. He was tested so many times, and not just him as well as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. For some reason, Daniel kept being like the solution to the problem. So when the king needed help translating his dreams, he was killing off magicians and stuff. But here comes Daniel with the answers. Also thought it was interesting that there were a lot of tests and trials that they went through, but they came out unscathed each time. Literally came out unscathed. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was actually sent to the furnace, and the furnace was turned up so hot that the guards that were putting them in there actually burned up as they were literally putting them in there. And not a single hair on their heads were touched. They came out literally unscathed. And also like Daniel, when he was in the lion's den, he was put in the lion's den. He still came out again unscathed. So that just shows like the power of God. Like even though whatever you're going through may feel like I don't see any way out of this, but I trust you, Lord. That's kind of what I've like gained from reading the book of Daniel. And it reminded me a lot of this past year, 2024. Everybody's saying, oh, 2024, you couldn't pay me $1 million to do it again. The great thing about 2024 is that no matter what you went through, you still came out unscathed. And like God has a way of showing you like how strong and how powerful He is. His word reigns true every time. Another thing that I kind of gained from reading the book of Daniel was clarity. While I was doing the Daniel fast, I was trying to come up with like different creative ways to do recipes, figure out like what's the best way for me to keep vegan food interesting. If you look up the Daniel fast, there are a lot of restrictions. So people focus on what it is that you can't have, but they don't really focus on like what you can also put into your body. So like you can't have any meat, no dairy, no seafood, no eggs, you can't have any processed foods. You can't have any sweeteners. So like no things like sugar, no syrup, no honey. Oh my gosh, it was so tough to give up honey, but I did it. You can't have any caffeine. You can't have any alcohol. There's certain ways that you could eat your food that you normally would eat, but just in a different way. So I was loving eating miso soup. I made like a kale soup, like an anti-inflammatory soup. I did like a vegan spaghetti. A lot of the ingredients were whole food ingredients. I had like this fruit salad. I love a good fruit salad. And I had that in the mornings, but I will say one of the best meals that I had while I was on the Daniel fast was like this oatmeal. I used like blueberries as a sweetener because I couldn't have any sugar. And then I sauteed these like bananas. OMG, it was so good. It was definitely so good. So like, I mean, you could have water and like tea without the sweetener, but like you can still have like good things. While I was on the Daniel fast, I did feel a little bit weaker than normal. So I wish I was able to go to the gym, but it just didn't happen for me. My fear, I don't want to say fear, but my intimidation came from just thinking about like how grand a fast was. It's special. It's definitely, time out between just you and God. Like you're praying, meditating, fasting, and just kind of like reading His word and learning more about Him and getting closer with God, instead of me like really focusing on like giving up like food, social media, or like comfort meals. I did didn't expect that what I was gaining was way much more. I started to hear God more clear than I have in a very long time. I started to actually have dreams that I didn't really need it to be translated because it was very clear, but like the clarity, man, it was awesome.
I was so hungry, I forgot to pray. Low key, I still got a lot left, so we're just gonna be doing a mid-food prayer. I think the jalapenos really set it off. I thought they were gonna be like too hot, but they're just perfect. The beans were so good, I had to make sure that they don't got no meat in them. No. Of course, I added my own spices. I added more chili powder, onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, what else? Paprika, salt and pepper. And they are bussing. There's no meat in there. I definitely had to do a double take for sure. I will say, like, I'm starving, but this is like really kind of satisfying me a little bit. Normally I would have this with like ground turkey or like ground beef, but we're on the Daniel fast, baby. And Daniel didn't eat meat, like, at all. I know that it's called the Daniel fast, but I was kind of researching with the book of Daniel, and ever since he got to Babylon, I believe he was in Babylon. Ever since he got to Babylon, he told the chef, hey, just go ahead and just make me vegetarian meals only. Like, I don't want to eat meat. I don't want to eat what the king is feeding everybody else. Like, just feed me, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Just feed us veggies, and we're good to go. No wine, no nothing. So I know it's the Daniel fast, but he also, like, it was kind of his way of life. I feel like I'm finally getting some protein in. Last night I made a soup. So this is day 3 of me being on the Daniel fast. I didn't record the first 2 days. I was really, really tired. And today, low key, I'm like really tired too. But I'm doing just enough. This morning I started my day off with like apple slices and just organic peanut butter, no sugar. It tasted like gritty peanut butter. But you know what? I like a crunchy peanut butter, so I was cool with it. For dinner, I either am going to make a soup, a potato soup with like kale and potatoes, or I might make cabbage steaks. I could do cabbage steaks with like a potato soup on the side. I feel like that would be really filling, but we're getting it in. Excuse my appearance. I mean, I really have no energy to get dressed. I got dressed for the gym, but I have literally ran out of energy before I even made it to my door. I normally work out maybe 3 times a week, not like every single day. So like with this Daniel fast, I feel a little bit weaker, but if I can like muster up the strength to like get to my car and make it to the gym, like then I'll like do a workout. But if not, I do have like Grow with Jo. I love doing her videos, and I'll just do a walking video like inside of my apartment or whatever. I mean, you kind of do what you can in between, but I will say it has been very fruitful. I love the fact that, you know, during this Daniel fast, I felt like I felt like at first I was having weird dreams. But in a sense, if you really think about like your dream and write it down and kind of really translate what it could mean, like last night, God was really like speaking to me in my dreams about like my future. Like that's one of the things that I'm fasting for is like clarity. And I felt like last night, God, well, it wasn't God that asked me, but it was a friend that, you know, previously passed away like 10 years ago, came to me in a dream. We were walking through this maze. We were in this room where like everybody I knew was in this room. And we were talking about like my friend's death. Granted, the next day in the dream, he like woke me up. So he was like, hey, let's go. We got to go, you know, like we have to go. And so we're like chasing these 2 people. I don't know if they were like a couple or something, but we were chasing these 2 people, and they were chasing us and we were chasing them. It was such a weird dream, but what I took from it was with a room of people that were in the room that I knew, like it was comfortable in that room. Like even though it was a couple people I didn't know, what it reminded me of sometimes in life we like stick to what is comfortable, and we like literally need to get out of our comfort zone. And so with my friend like guiding me through the dream, it was right before I woke up. And I woke up before my alarm too. Right before I woke up, he like turned to me and he's like, hey, like my mother always used to say, like, in life, there are dreamers and there are doers. And so that like really, really spoke to me. Like, I think God is really wanting me to like lean into like a dream that I have and actually make it happen and not just wait for it to fall in my lap. And so like I texted my mom and my friend this morning and was like, hey, like this is what, because I wanted to write it down, but I didn't have a pen by my bed and I really didn't feel like getting up. So this text, and I was just like, this is what my friend told me in my dream. And one of my friends, she texted me back and she said, well, which one are you going to be? And I'm just like so grateful for like my tribe of people that are going to hold me accountable, like regardless of how I feel about something or whatever I'm going through. Like, hey, you still got work to do. So I don't know if that blesses anybody. I know it definitely blessed me. Am I going to be a dreamer or a doer? Because one of my dreams was actually to create a YouTube channel. And so I have like a goal set in mind about a number of videos that I want to do. And then, just to kind of look back at my channel to see like what direction I want to take it in. But I have to have that number of videos before I make any changes. So today, I'm just like letting you guys in on like what a day in the life looks like for me as a full-time creative. At first, I was calling myself unemployed, but then I'm just like, well, I do have the opportunity to make money. So either I'm going to lean into just being completely unemployed and just letting that be my feat, or I'm going to, or title, or I'm going to switch it to just be a full-time content creator, which is what I do. I create content. And I just need to lean into doing it full time and not just when I feel like it. So I'm working on what does a schedule look like for me, especially with a brand new hyper puppy. He's over there playing right now. But what does a day in the life look like for me, like in this new space that I'm in this new creative space where I have like complete creative freedom. So that was one of the things that I definitely prayed for, was creative freedom. And unlimited resources. And God has literally had that, like open the door so that that can be my story currently. And so I'm just like, hey, like what would life look like when you really go for it, So while I'm doing this Daniel fast, I'm definitely seeking clarity, and I'm getting the clarity. It's only day 3. My church is doing a 5-day fast. So it's day 3 of 5. However, I wanted to just share with you guys like some of the recipes that I've tried, some of the things that I've researched. If I could give any advice, if you're thinking about doing the Daniel fast, do your research before your fast and not during. Day 1, I think I spent so much time like looking up recipes and things that I can eat to make me comfortable that I didn't spend enough time praying. I did spend a lot of time reading my word. I was reading the book of Luke and also Daniel because I wanted to read up on the fast. But I will say, like, I didn't spend enough time to me praying and kind of like listening to like what God had to say. So day 1 was like just a lot of research. I watched a ton of YouTube videos, and before you know it, it was like the sun went up and went back down, and I just have research and not enough like alone time with God. So day 2, I would say I definitely got into my word, praying more, praying for others, redefining why I was doing the fast, because the goal I had on day 1 looks completely different from the goal that I have today. And so today I spent my morning with God. I definitely spent my morning journaling and praying and fasting and just seeing how far I could go without any food before I ate like the apples and the peanut butter or whatever, just to kind of give me a little sustenance. But I will say, like, in your moments when you're seeking God, like, be open to what he has to say to you. Sometimes it's not always like something you want to hear, or it is something that you want to hear, but just be open to what God like has to say for your future, for your now. When I first walked into wanting to do this fast, I actually was just thinking, okay, this is a fast. I want treating God like a genie. If we can be all the way honest, I want a house, Lord. I love my apartment, but I want to have a home. Like, I want a husband, and I want to know like what my future is. And it was just like, what? I don't know. People were saying like you got to go into a fast like wanting something from God, but like that changed when it was just like, okay, I know that I can get all of those things, but what am I without God? Not to say that I didn't want God, himself during this fast, but now I'm just like, okay, it's shifted from those things to shifting to seeking his face. And so I'm just working on like, God, I want to see your face. Like, show me your face, show me who you are. am I doing this fast right? I've done fast when I was a kid, but we just didn't eat till a certain time. It didn't really require much. I didn't do much reading or of the word or like praying or even meditating. But I will say, like, as an adult, it looks a lot different for me. It's definitely holding myself accountable because God never left me or walked away from me. I'm searching to seek his face because I busied myself up with a job, with a relationship, with whatever it was. And it was just like, I need to start my days seeking him first. So there are some things that I will continue to do after the fast is over. So I definitely want to still start my days with God, like intentionally start my days with God. I definitely want to still fast until a certain time. So while I am seeking his face, I do want to make sure that it is fasted. And I'm not sure if there's any other things that I want to take. Some of these recipes I definitely will include. I feel like I'm slimming down. Like today, I woke up so slim. But I do miss meat. I can't lie. The headaches are a thing. I did get a couple of headaches, but I just kind of like took a nap just to see. I drank some water. So you got to make sure that you're hydrating on this fast for sure. But when you kind of like push through and just kind of keep your main focus, you don't really focus too much on like your headaches or like your fatigue and all of that. Like when I feel like I can't go on, I do give myself a moment to rest. And I notice that I'm sleeping deeper. I don't know if that has anything to do with the fast, but I notice that my body is like detoxing itself. And so I just don't want to end the fast. Excuse me, sir, I'm recording. I don't want to end the fast and be like, I don't want to just like pig out on all the things that I missed. Like I want to introduce like meat slowly back into my life, you know. Yesterday I made a oatmeal, but I did like sauteed bananas. Oh my God, it was so good. I don't ever want oatmeal unless it has sauteed bananas on it. So I have to go to the store and get some more. But there's a lot of different meals that I might incorporate. Like just eating this. This is really good. And it's really healthy for you too. Well, besides all the sodium. Other than that, I'm just grateful today. Today's a slow day for me. I wanted to do more, but my energy just really isn't allowing me to like go full out. So I'm like, okay, if I am gonna be here sitting, you know, what can I get done? So I can get some videos edited and stuff. I can kind of clean up my house, but it's just like I really wanted to leave and go to the store, but I don't have the energy and I don't want to go somewhere and like pass out. I don't think I'm gonna pass out, but I don't want to go anywhere feeling like lethargic or anything. So we shall be here, me and the pup. I do want to say, like, while I've been in this season of becoming a full-time content creator, opportunities have been presenting themselves, and I've been aligning myself to say yes, and not make excuses for why I can't do something or why I don't feel like doing something. I'm trying to go beyond like how I feel and lean fully into discipline. So on like Sundays, I meet with the team of just people from the community, and they just love doing good. And so we literally come together to prepare meals to feed the homeless. The last few times we've done it, I think we fed almost over 180 people, if I'm getting the numbers right. And I just think it's a beautiful thing. It doesn't require much for me but my time. Like I do, you know, I've donated a few things, but like helping with meal prep or giving advice and stuff for like meals or choosing meals, you know, just kind of helping like one of the leaders like lead and set everything up or set like the times and think different things up. It doesn't require much of me. And I'm just like, you know, one of the weeks I didn't feel like going, but I'm like, man, those people don't have a choice, you know, those people don't have a choice to like stay at home and be warm and stuff. And since it's cold, like I was so grateful that I went, especially on one of the days here in Dallas. It was freezing cold this week. And we were able to donate tons of clothes, tons of blankets, you know, just to kind of keep them warm. Sorry, I'm getting all emotional. I'm going to make that face, but it just makes you think. Like most of the things, like I'm worried about my comfort for like 2 minutes between the car and like a door, but people are like outside like all day. And I just pray that they have like the shelter that they need, you know, during this time. Like that's been my prayer. So I've been definitely praying for those that are unhomed, that we've been helping out and passing out food. we set up one of my favorite meals, which is like a white chicken chili that I used to make for my family. And everybody loved it. And I was just like, man, like, I don't know. I want to continue to help those that are in need. I just don't know what capacity it looks like. So for right now, I'm just going to continue what we're already doing. And then if I needed to do it on a bigger scale later, like that's something, to decide. But I just, that and a couple other businesses have reached out to me for me to help them with their content. And I feel like right now I'm in this season where I feel like God is going to supply everything I need, as far as like business goes or money goes. Like he keeps making sure that I'm okay. And I just keep being obedient to the opportunities that are presented, my way, So I feel like as long as I like have a heart of obedience in this season, like I feel like God is going to supply like everything for me. Yeah. So I hope this helps somebody, if you have been recently impacted by one of the layoffs and you just don't know what to do, like just talk to God and just, ask him to provide a way for you. Ask him to provide like opportunities or doors, ask him to open doors for you that you could just walk in. Right now I'm donating a lot of my time, so I'm not getting paid for some of these opportunities, but I am like being fulfilled with them, like, spiritually. And, I just feel like I needed something not to just keep me busy, but I needed something to look forward to. So I actually start to look forward to like meeting with this group of people on Sundays and, building relationships and friendships with them. I just feel like it's just a beautiful thing that we come together to do. And I pray that it continues to like bear fruit and help those like beyond us. Yeah. These chickpea penne noodles, 12 grams of protein, because I need some protein. And the only ingredient is literally chickpeas. So that's cool. The freshest ingredients on any